Peace. See, now the next time I might have to put you in the blender with the bullshits
Oh
and the
Lord.
ratchet shit.
Listen, I'm well balanced, okay? So
Got you.
I'm all about the duality of life. I get down.
You get
I'm never
down.
scared. Let's play.
Facts.
I might flip Bone Crusher look, cause
That's dope. You should do that one. That was one of my favorite songs. I'm never scared. That'd be
yeah.
so dope if you do that. That would be dope. This is the Crack King from the Crack King podcast, and I am the Crack King, and I have a very special, talented guest here. I have Ari Lachelle here.
Hey.
Say hello to the people and let the people know where they can find you and check out your content and your music.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Ari Lachelle. You can follow me on all social media at ARILASHELL. You can search me up on all streaming platforms at Ari Lachelle, ARILASHELL. But it's a space between the I and the L on streaming platforms.
Okay. That's awesome. Make sure you like and subscribe out there because I don't like to have more views than I have subscribers. So please go ahead and subscribe. I'm getting tired of y'all. Y'all ghost watching me. See what I'm going to say next. Where are you from originally?
Detroit.
Are you living in Detroit right now?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
They say that's the Black Mecca right now. Is it truly the Black Mecca?
It's definitely booming for sure with a lot of Black excellence. So I would say that I've been here since 2012. So
Have you
yeah,
been hearing that like Texas is the new Atlanta now? Like
yeah,
Houston?
I'm actually getting ready to move there soon, maybe.
You're moving to Houston?
Probably like within the next year or so.
What? It's fucking hot than a motherfucker out here.
I heard it's hot in Atlanta too.
Really? Like what? What is it out there right now? Because I know we got like 103 right now.
Well, last night was like 98 degrees. So
98? Oh, that's like wintertime to us.
that's like 5 degrees less than 103. Like,
That's a lot.
I mean, they're both hot and it was humid last night. It was so much. Oh my gosh. But I'm just preparing myself.
Did you go to Atlanta for a music career or you just kind of went there just for a new life?
Well, I actually went to Atlanta. Like, I moved down here when I was going into ninth grade. So I moved with my dad and I went to a performing arts high school. So, that was definitely a really good start for my music endeavors. After high school, I went on to college. I went to Hampton University and I got my degree in music recording technology. So I just been musicified all my life.
All your life. So what inspired you to be an artist?
I personally, ever since I was a little girl, like my mom said I could sing before I could talk. And I've always just been kind of like a little songbird. That's been my nickname with so many just family members. And I've always performed at like talent shows growing up. And, I sang the national anthem at the basketball games in middle school, which was full circle for me because I performed the national anthem at the Braves game last year. So
congratulations. That was dope.
Thank you so much. So I just feel like, I was called to be an artist. It's kind of one of those things that feels like it's above me. Like, I feel like I'm a vessel sometimes because there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, this is hard. Why am I still doing this? But when you love something so much and you feel like, it was something you were called to do, like, how dare I be disobedient?
How dare you? You're right. How dare you not live up to your potential and your talent?
Absolutely.
What was the first piece of music you can remember hearing? Like the first melody or first song that made you bob your head and say, yo, I want to fucking sing?
It's funny, actually. The youngest I can remember me singing is actually with my aunt. We were singing Mary J. Blige. We were singing I'm Going Down. And yeah. I don't know. I think I was like 4 at that time, but I felt that song in my heart. I was just like whole world.
Like 95, right?
Yeah, but I was born in 98, so
Oh my gosh, you're the same age as my daughter.
Ah,
Okay, everybody else.
hey, twin.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's honestly like the youngest I remember me singing was Mary J. Blige, and then I remember singing My Life, and my mom
Mm.
was always playing neo soul music like Lil Scott, everybody. So
What inspires you?
the feeling, I think that I don't see myself doing anything else in this world. There's a lot of times where I try different things and I just become heavily dissatisfied, and it's a feeling that just automatically pushes me back into music whenever I'm upset or whenever I'm going through something. I always resort in music, whether that's writing, whether that's listening, whether that's playing one of my instruments, or going to a jam session, studio session. Like, I always resort to music as an outlet. And yeah, it's at my core, honestly.
How many instruments do you play?
I play five.
Five. What five are they?
I play clarinet, acoustic guitar, piano, percussion, and then I sing. So singing is an instrument.
Clearly, you gotta use your voice box.
Oh,
Percussion.
absolutely.
Was it hard to learn how to read like sheet music? Like how to write it?
Well, writing it not so much, but like solfege, like sight reading, was definitely not my strongest, my strong suit. I remember in high school we had to do auditions for, what was it, like Allstate,
Mhm.
and we were doing sight reading practice, and whew, just pray for me. It was hard. Yeah, it was so hard. Like, and it's like I can see it and I can read it. I can see that it's, going from E to G. I know it's going from G to B flat, but me singing it on tempo is really what was getting me. It was like trying to sing on beat. Like, I can sing the notes now, but like on tempo, whew, give me a second.
Mm. So, I seen your content on TikTok, and you were doing. I call it like a blend. You were giving it like a new takes on southern rap songs.
Yeah, I flip a lot of songs.
What was the idea behind that? Like, did you come up with that, or was that your manager dad?
Oh, no, no, no. That wasn't my dad. That wasn't my dad. That was
Because
me.
I mean, that would be his era of music.
Funny enough, that era of music I listened to a lot more with my mom. My mom was definitely the one playing like the down south rap. I definitely heard a lot of UGK, Bun B, Project Pat. Like, I heard all of those people growing up, like in the car on our road trips, and it was just my mom. That was a trip to school. She was playing that, and she speed off and turn the music up. I'm like, Lord, that's my girl. So she is honestly where I got a lot of my knowledge about that stuff. Um, but I would say my inspiration, like behind my flips, my first ever flip that I did was "You Don't Have to Call" by Usher, and I did that last year. And it's funny because I guess you could say I got the inspiration from. I was the music assistant on Praise This, the movie that came out actually in April, starring Chloe Bailey. It was
Yes.
basically a movie that took gospel songs and flipped them and made them a little bit more like modern. They would flip them with like, How to Love by Lil Wayne, and A Marie, One Thing. So me being around that atmosphere a lot, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just so dope. And I decided to try to flip a song of my own, and I just fell in love with it after that. After Usher, I flipped old school. I think I did Al Green, Let's Stay Together.
Mhm.
And it's just something that comes naturally to me. It was something I didn't know that I could just do. I started going to a lot of jam sessions around the city,
Mhm.
and I would do that there, especially at Peter Street Station in Atlanta. On Wednesday nights, they have this amazing jam session.
Mhm.
And you can't really say, hey, I want to play this song. But if you have a song on your heart and they're playing kind of like a groove that's similar to that vibe, you can kind of go up there and make it your own. So it was a mixture of working on that movie and performing around the city in Atlanta. And it all just kind of tied into me creating all these flips.
Hmm. Like, what's your take on like the male crooners? Like, it seems like all we have left is Usher that's putting
Mm,
out consistent music to me from what I hear. I don't really hear Genuine putting a new song out. I don't hear Tank or, you know, Jeremiah or any of the other ones putting any music out, the ones that's been around for a while. Do you
mm.
think it's like the male ballad artist is kind of fading away for the female artist?
No, I don't think so. I think that the male R&B artists are not getting a lot of exposure. I wouldn't say that they're not there because they're there. You have like Kenyon Dixon, you have Xavier Omar, you got Sebastian Michael, like the new generation
I don't know
of.
any of those people. I have old nigga ears. I don't
Uh,
know who you just named. I'm writing
well,
that down so I can check it out though.
yeah, they're the rising, R&B male R&B artists. Honestly, I think that R&B is evolving. You have artists like Alex Isley and Xavier Omar and Kenyon. They're all in the same avenue as her. And I think that the only thing that is different is just the exposure. A lot of it is just, a lot of male attention when it comes to music is focused more on rap. A lot of the rappers get a lot more marketing and exposure, but I wouldn't say that they're not there. The R&B males are still alive and well. I know a lot of great ones around me myself that are doing great things and are trying to bring R&B back, but it's not that it's bringing it back. It never died. It was just the attention from it kind of dwindled because of the marketing that's being pushed to a different genre.
A lot of times the rappers would get R&B artists to sing hooks on their songs. That was a big thing.
Yeah.
Now the rap artist is singing his own hooks and auto tuning it. And it's kind of fading out that whole, collab, like the power collabs. Do you think that we'll ever get back to that where like dope rapper, dope R&B artist make a fucking killer song?
I
Like,
hope
I
so.
haven't heard that in a long time.
I truly hope so. Collaboration is everything, and I had to learn that on my own. A lot of the times we try to be Superman or Superwoman, and we try to do it all ourselves. But I think that there's nothing better than a collaborative effort on a project because just the artistic vision, it definitely heightens when you allow for other people with like-minded um visions artistically to kind of collide together. They just you get something you never would have thought. Like you thought you were going to be at a 10 and boom, y'all at a 15 now just because y'all both came in with good energy, ready to work and to just create something organic and beautiful. So collaboration is everything. I definitely wish that it was more of it for sure.
Facts. Collaboration rule the nation. I just had a big ass argument with my nephew on who was the best hook singer, Nate Dogg or T-Pain.
You can't compare the two.
Why not?
I feel like they were both like the hook masters of like different eras. You
Well,
know,
Nate Dogg's defense, rest in peace. He kind of was in the same era, like he was still doing hooks while T-Pain was there. I just feel like Nate Dogg sings better, and Nate Dogg had a bit of edge on the hooks than T-Pain, personally.
well, I mean, I enjoy both of them. I'm also a Libra, so it's hard for me to be like one side of things. I see both sides, but T Pain, he started off with auto tune, but vocally, like T Pain doesn't even need auto tune.
Yeah, yes,
I
he
think
does.
that was
Yes, he does.
really you think
Yes,
so?
he sounds like trash without auto tune.
Oh wow, I don't agree. But
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, I feel like T Pain has a really good voice outside of the auto tune. I feel like the auto tune was his mark, for people to know him and to know that, like to be like, oh, this is T Pain when you hear him on a song. But I mean, hearing him on like an acoustic set with like his voice, like you heard his tiny desk,
I heard the Tiny Desk.
people
I
say
was
the
not
man can't
impressed.
sing.
I just don't think compared to Nate Dogg didn't need auto tune. Nate Dogg just needed a blunt and a 40 ounce, and he's singing hooks and he's knocking it out the park.
I mean, Nate Dogg was also one of a kind too. You know, he had a voice that like you listen to this day, and you're like, nah, that's Nate Dogg. I think that we got to give them their props because they're both distinctive. Like, I know for a fact that when I listen to Nate Dogg, I know that's Nate Dogg, and when I'm listening to T Pain, I'm like, nah, that's T Pain. So, I mean, yeah, I think both were great. I can't really compare them because I do feel like they weren't kind of like in the same era,
Okay.
but.
I'll let you
Yeah.
make it with that one, which I say Nate Dogg because T-Pain, because to me, Zapp and Rogers, they kind of made it popular, that sound, and I think he just kind of, he piggybacked off. He was inspired by it, but it's just something that just gives me a disdain when he gets on there. And he's like, "Yo, that's me. I did this. I started that, or whatever." Like as if Zapp and Rogers didn't have mega hits using autotune.
Right. I feel like he made it his own. I will say though, Zapp and Rogers, like, it was auto tune, or wasn't it like it was the box, like, when you have the piano and you have the
It was the
forgot
box at first,
yeah.
and then I guess when technology caught up, it was the auto tune thing. But I
Oh,
mean,
okay, okay.
it's the same sound. You know what I mean? They sound exactly
Right,
the
right.
fucking same. That's just how I feel about that situation with T-Pain.
Yeah, I like T-Pain though. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
So when you go into the studio, are you like a one hit? You get it out and you get out of there, or you're like Luther Vandross and you got to be in there like all night to get it perfect.
Honestly, I'm in the middle. I wouldn't say sometimes I can, you know, it just depends on the setting of the studio one, because sometimes like if I ever go to my brother Stefan's, like he was the producer like over my EP I just dropped, Ari, what are you doing here, in June, and him
Jamming. Go
Quinn.
check that out there. It is jamming.
Thank you. Yeah, him, Marquin Mason, and Jeremy. And whenever I walk into a session at Stefan's, like I automatically have a song in like 10 minutes. Like our sessions are always super quick. Like a lot of the songs off of the EP, I don't think we ever had longer than like an hour and a half, 2 hour session for any of those songs. Now, for more of my like R&B songs where I have to have more of like a structure and I want to create a concept, I personally like to write before I record, but if I'm ever in a session with like multiple writers or like multiple artists, I've learned that like everybody has their own way, so you got to kind of like find a mesh of how we all can create the song, and then how we can hurry up and fast track to get to recording. So some people like to just lay down melodies and then fill in. I've started to do that more, but I feel like sometimes when it comes to writing, I'm type A, and I want to make sure like the lyrics make sense and create a story. So it just depends on the sound, the day, the session. But I could be one or the other.
The vibe, got you. Okay, so how do you feel about artists that don't write their own music? Do you have the same respect for them?
Yes, I do. Because I feel like everybody was not meant to be a songwriter. And I don't think that I'm going to shun you because you don't write your own music. As an artist, you're like, if you're an artist, you're an artist. If you're a vocalist, you're a singer, that's what you're taking pride in. How can you take these lyrics and bring them to life? I've written songs that aren't necessarily mine, but, the person who sings them brought them out a lot more than I could. I think that it's all like we were talking about collaboration. It's a collaboration thing. If you know that strong writing is not your strong suit, don't try to write a song. Get a songwriter, because a lot of people try to shame people for not writing their own music, but if they tried and it was a bad song, y'all would clown them too. So it's like, if they had a good songwriter and they singing a good song, like go for it. I'm not mad at that at all.
I know, because Luther Vandross didn't write any of his fucking songs.
I mean,
Like,
and he sang them though.
he
He
sang
sang
the
yeah.
shit out of them. Fat Luther did. The Skinny Luther was okay, but Fat Luther did sing the shit out of those songs. Are you signed to any record labels or anything like that right now?
No, I'm independent.
Yeah, and would you encourage new artists or artists that want to break to stay independent?
Um, Actually, it's hard. It's hard being independent. I would say, if you got the correct deal to take it, because I feel like some people just take deals and don't look at, the actual details of a deal. I wouldn't say that a deal is the worst thing. Like if I was to get a publishing deal as a writer, I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Mm.
I think that we have to just do more research on the sort of deals that are offered to us and make sure we have the right people in place. Get your entertainment lawyers ready. So if you do get a deal offered to you, you have it looked over, and if there's anything you want to negotiate, make sure that you can do that. Make sure that the deal is reasonable for you and that you don't have to break your whole back in order for you to reach the terms of your deal. I think that if you can be an independent artist, if you have the funding, to do so, definitely do it. But I will not say that being an independent artist is like the best thing in the world. I feel like if I had the proper funding for it, then yes. But I bartend, I'm working on merchandise. I'm trying to figure out many different ways to fund my dream. And it's like compared to a label that could fund it for me and help me and reach places and people that I couldn't, I have to be a one-woman band compared to me having a team with a label. And even as an indie artist, I can have a team, but I don't have that yet. So I'm doing it all myself. So it gets tough. Sometimes I wish, I did have a little bit more assistance when it came to getting everything off the ground.
This is the Crack King, and we're gonna get into a little bit of ratchet. We're gonna,
Okay.
do you partake in marijuana or cannabis?
I do support the cannabis industry. Yes,
Okay.
I don't say I do it all the time, but I have anxiety, so I do partake for anxiety purposes.
What is your favorite strain?
My favorite strain. Oh man, it's honestly, I'm always trying different ones. I can't tell you. Like
You like them all?
I've tried a lot of different, but I usually like to try hybrids. I don't like to do like a indica or sativa. Like I try to do a hybrid because I want to stay alert.
Yeah. 50-50 split in a relationship.
Oh man, you telling this to a Libra? People are going to have their opinions, but whatever. Honestly, I'm in a relationship.
Okay.
And, I feel like
Do y'all do 50-50?
no, not
No?
really. Not really.
60-40?
I can't really give you a percentage, but I
Okay.
just know that we both invest in each other for real, but he's definitely more of like a provider. He's a provider, he wants to just make sure that, anything he can do to make sure I'm okay, he's gonna do it. Like we're not living with each other or anything like that yet, but he's definitely, he's a provider. And anything that I can do, I'm not one of those people who just want to, take the money and run. Like, if I get some money, I'm thinking of him, and I'm like, babe's running low on this. Let me go grab that for him. Let me cook for him. Let me do this. Let me do that. Like we just always reciprocating the energy. It never feels like, oh, we gotta go 50-50.
So it's really 100 and 100. Both of y'all. 100 and 100, both of y'all. That's dope.
For sure.
There's
And
nothing
we're
wrong with that.
100 in different ways. Like it's not 100 on this and 100 on that. Like, he's 100 on what he feels is his duties, and I'm 100 on what I feel is mine. And we both make sure that we're taking care of the other. That's really what we do. We focus on each other's well-being.
How do you feel about online dating? Did you meet your spouse online on online dating?
Oh, good.
You did? Really? Which one? POF?
No, I met him on Hinge.
Hinge. Okay.
Yeah, I met
Okay.
him on Hinge, but honestly, he was the last of the Mohicans because after him, I was getting ready to delete all the apps. Like, he actually caught me on the day I was getting ready to delete the site. I was like the app off my phone because, I was way over Tinder. I was on Facebook dating for a minute, and after a while, you just become so desensitized to human beings after all the scrolling and nexting and this and that and this and that. And, you just talking to somebody, y'all get connected, then they ghost. Or, it's just, I was so tired of everything just kind of being surface level with online dating. And, I was just so thankful he came at the perfect time, and we barely talked on Hinge. Like, we had maybe like 4 messages. He was like, "I'm barely on here." I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the first time I've opened this app in months," and look at you messaging me.
Yeah.
So we exchanged numbers. We went on a date maybe like a couple weeks afterwards, and boom. Like,
Well, then you had a good experience.
after
It
a
happened.
lot of bad ones.
Okay. Name the worst experience you had on an online dating app.
Oh my gosh. I remember I was in college and I went on a date, and he took me to like Chili's or something.
What's
And
wrong with Chili's? Why do you make that face about Chili's?
it
Like,
listen
really?
to the story.
Since when has Chili's been like a not place to go on a date?
No, just listen to the story. I'm about
Okay,
to
yes,
tell
ma'am.
you. So we went to Chili's and we meet up in person for the first time. This is before I, did the FaceTime, all of that. He didn't look like his pictures.
Mm.
So I'm already
Catfish or
looking at
catfish?
him like, okay. So, but I'm like, I'm gonna still get to know him. I'm gonna still. He asked me out, so I'm a believer. If you ask me out, it's your treat. If I ask you out, I'm treating you, but you ask me out, so it's your treat. Tell me why we get to the end of the meal. This man was already splitting the tab before the server came back. And then he had the audacity to ask me, he was like, "I love this so much. Let's do it again tomorrow." I
Yeah,
blushed.
you just went and ate with somebody. You didn't have to pay for them. Yeah, that's dope.
Exactly. Of course you love this experience, man.
You
Yeah,
go to
no.
them, never talk to them again.
I definitely blocked him when I got in there.
Oh, shit.
That was a never again.
Let everybody know where they can find you one more time.
Yes, y'all can find me on all social media platforms at Ari Lachelle. That's ARILASHELL. And you can find me on all streaming platforms at Ari Space Lachelle. LA like the city shell, like a seashell. Hope to connect soon.
All right, let them know what the name of the new project is that's out right now, and if you have something new coming out, let me know so I could be on the wait.
Oh, absolutely. So I actually just dropped a song yesterday called I Choose Me. It was featured on the last episode of The Shy this past Friday. It was season 6, episode 3. So the song is called I Choose Me. It's more of like a kind of like an affirmative song, when you felt like you've lost yourself, just getting back to your roots. It has a really good message behind it, and I'm so grateful that it got featured on The Shy.
That's dope. Congratulations. That's so fucking dope. I'm glad you came on my show.
Oh,
You
thank
so
you.
fucking dope. You're a
Thank
beautiful soul.
you. Thank you so much. And
Give
yes, definitely stream AWH. Ari, what are you doing here? That's my debut EP. I dropped that in June. That's more of like a dance project, something for you to just feel good to, ride to. Definitely catch a vibe with that one too.
that's a bet. How do you keep that? How do you keep that drive?
Discipline and discipline and faith. They really do go together. A lot of the times you don't see it, but the effort that you're making when you feel like you're not seeing results, it's just seeds that are getting ready to sprout. Everything has its own timing. So like a lot of the times when you feel like you're working and working and you're not seeing results, it's just because everything is getting ready to sprout in due time. So it's like every time I feel like I'm getting ready to give up, something cool happens. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can go a little harder. Something that
Right.
just re-sparks the faith for me to keep going. I would say, a lot of the times we stop right before our breakthroughs. And I don't want people to give up on themselves. A lot of this is me just trying to bet on myself every day. What Larry June say? Betting on myself every time. It's a hit.
It's a
Um,
hit.
and
Fact.
I really believe in that because it took a lot to believe in myself. Like you have to have radical faith if you want to do something like this. This is not one of those things where you have to look for the acceptance of everybody around you because your family even is not going to believe it until they see it, you know. You know how many times I've gotten not even just from family, but like everybody around me, have you considered doing this or have you considered doing that? Like changing professions and I'm like, nah. I'm a little stubborn when it comes to my journey because I feel like it's personal, like it's real
Yeah.
spiritual for me. Um, and I've stopped over the years sharing my journey like with everybody and what I want for myself because a lot of the times people will try to damper that. You know, they'll try to, you know, tarnish your beliefs and tarnish your spirit when it comes to chasing after what's yours. Because a lot of the times, like, we just live in that society where we sometimes can't do what we want because of, you know, trying to make a living, trying to, a lot of people don't want to struggle. And I fully understand, you know,
Yeah. Fact.
like, I juggle a lot of things and sacrifice a lot of things so that I'm able to try to get to where I need to go. But if I would have chosen, I want to, you know, have the stable route, I wouldn't have made it this far. So it's just a matter of juggling it all until it all makes sense. But continuously going and doing the things that you feel like you don't want to do and learning along the way because a lot of the times we think we're ready for the next step, but there's certain things that you have to go through and experience before you can get to that point because you'll think you're ready and then something will happen and you're like, ooh, definitely wasn't ready for that. So
Facts. I always say it's not the success, it's the journey to the success is the real
yeah.
adventure. And
And you
that's what
have to really pay attention to that. A lot of
yeah,
people don't. They just want to
yeah.
get to that end goal.
They want to get to the end and be there and then that's it. Nah, it was the journey getting there is when you had the most fun, the most time to just everything, the whole experience of it. One more thing to the motherfucking haters.
I've never been one of those people to try to like compete with anybody. I think everybody got space to, you know, grow and everybody got space to win. Like we all can make it, but I mean when it comes to hating on me, I show love to everybody. So it's like one of those things where if you really not wishing me the best, like that's all on you.
Facts.
And you got to deal with that. A lot of the time, hating is projection of self, you know. And I just pray for people like that because we all going through things, and a lot of the times we try to distract ourselves with everybody else's lives because we don't want to do the healing inside. And so I just pray for them, you know. That's really it.
We gonna pray for them. I'm gonna pray for y'all out there, you fucking haters. But I still say fuck y'all. That
Funny.
I am the Crack King, and we are out of here.
Let me know this ain't a love song, this is something for the hoes. I can be your late night special, the one you give sex to. If you wanna take control, then baby, I'ma let you. I can introduce you to a different lifestyle. We gon' smoke, we gon' fuck, then I'ma stay for a while. Yeah, she like me, ask me all the time, can I be wifey? You know all the places that'll please and excite you. I know you a player and you just wanna one night me. If you want me, baby, then you know just where to find me. I'm that nigga with the plan, girlfriend. I'm the reason why you wanna leave your man, girlfriend. Got the world in my
What's up, Cartier? Let's go.
I put a hole in a nigga, no Fulu. Finna stream on these niggas, no YouTube. They poppin' perks, my niggas berserk. Ain't talk about clocks, but they cuckoo. Yo, bitch know that I'm pressure. She eat pussy like gum, cause she F. Fuck her good, now she squirtin', I catch her. She had good, I might buy some milk.
DJ Sharp, man.
Straight in Texas.
It's Cartier K in this bitch, yeah. Yo, ayy, yeah, ayy, put a hole in a nigga, no Fulu. Finna stream on these niggas, no YouTube. They poppin' perks, my niggas berserk. Ain't talk about clocks, but they cuckoo. Yo, bitch know that I'm pressure. She eat pussy like gum, cause she F. Fuck her good, now she squirtin', I catch her. She had good, I might buy some milk. Set it bust like a gusher. Let it burn, I ain't talk about us. Now man Chris, but you know I'm a tucker. You know that she fine, so you know I'm a fucker. These niggas cap it, they know I ain't hiding. Talking real tough, but ain't none of them sliding. Stay in the stoop, so it's easy to find me. Told her to take notes, cause this in the sign. Nigga kept playing, sorry, we started touching. Come pick up your partner, we left them in love. Close cash is your nigga, my bad to your family. Niggas some bitches, that's why they were panning. Really that nigga, that's why they can't stand me. Putting steam in the air, now they calling me Stanley. So I'm that nigga, I put that on granny. And as long as he chat on my mama, that's family. Hey, they told me to stop, I'ma stop. Call me Kim, cause I make this shit possible. We can fight, we can shoot, it is option. Mark you up, but this shit is not washable. Niggas lost like they going through obstacles. I'ma puke cause the way that I'm popping him. He a slime, he a slap, better watch for him. You a S3EP, you is not a pimp. Ayy, bro, trying too hard. He act like a gangster, he not about that shit, he a try out. Nigga thought I was lacking, I told him was cracking. Ayy, if he pull up, he gon' find out. Nigga make the wrong move, he get ironed out. Dominoes, cause I knock his whole line out. And I bet you nobody gon' find out.